Hello, hello, Sir David the Bard. I'm looking at my picture here. Am I on? Am I off? Okay, Sir David the Bard. I'm coming to you out of Kangaroo City, down here in Australia. And I rode a kangaroo to Utah. Now, usually I fly, you know that, but little Elmer, he wanted to fly me. And that kangaroo is blind. He can't see crap. I don't know. Is he the only pilot available? They go, yes, I'll take a kangaroo boat. So I got me a big kangaroo, and I rode her all the way to Salt Lake City. Well, I took a little trip when I was in Salt Lake, and my friend Ty, my father-in-law, he is so cool. He's like a brother, a father, and a friend. I just find him an outstanding human being. Anyway, we're driving along I-15, and there's a place to pull over called Cove, C-O-V-E, Fort, F-O-R-T. Well, Cove Fort was kind of like a Pony Express station before Brigham Young, put in all the roads and whatever. So anyway, it was out in the middle of nowhere, and it was a fort. And I think it was Gordon B. Hinckley's grandfather that built it. No nepotism there. Anyway. I thought, well, I've seen it before when I was younger, and I'll take Ty over and let him look. He loves to see American stuff. He's just like a 2-year-old. He really absorbs everything American. So I pull over and go in. They said, well, we want you to watch a movie. So I said, Ty, I'll sit here and I'll watch the movie with you. So we watched it, and of course, all movies are done very well by the Mormon Church. You've got to be careful. Again, I'm going to tell you, don't listen to a word they say. Listen to what they do. Okay? So we watch the movie, and pretty soon the guy comes in and says, okay, we're going to take a tour. And I go, well, the Bard don't tour. He said, you don't want to go look at the fort? I said, no, and you don't want me to. He said, oh, okay. So I go back to my car, and it's right in the parking lot there. It's a little place. It's not a very big place. So I'm sitting in my car, minding my own business. Shit just comes to me. I must have a sign on my forehead that said, fuck with me. So anyway, one of the old senior missionaries comes over to my car and, hi, how are you doing? I said, well, I'm doing pretty well. Well, it's a beautiful day. And I go, yeah, it's a nice day. And he said, we had to get a male tour guide, missionary, to take your friend because the church doesn't let us have a female missionary go with a male tourist. And I said, well, okay. I said, I think that's kind of silly, but hey, if it floats your boat, let it sail. And he says, well, we do that to protect the women. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, I have a question for you. Oh, yes. They love questions. Until they talk to the Bard, now they don't want questions. But I said, listen, Joseph Smith had a 14, a 15, and 2 16-year-old wives and 40 other wives. Who was looking out for those girls? The Reformed Egyptian dance. So he goes running back to his shack. He goes, and all the other missionaries that came to him, he'd point out and go, don't go out there. He knows too much. So anyway, that's my Cove Fort experience for you, that if you go to Cove Fort in Utah, make sure you tell them the Bard sent you. And see if you can get an answer to my question. Who was watching out for all those girls that Joseph Smith married that were already married, and the ones that still have their dolls and their teddy bears? Who the hell was looking out for them? The prophet and his flaming sword that he couldn't keep in his pants. That was his flaming sword. So anyway, I just thought it was funny. They wanted to convert me and wanted me to, bow my head and say yes. And I said, well, I just have one question. They didn't want to answer that question. And I'll tell you something else here. I'll put on this video. I took Ty and my mother-in-law to BYU. Now, and my wife, Mercy, was with us. And I said, I want you to do this. I'm going to drive you up on the BYU campus, and we're going to be up there for a while, and I want you to count with your own eyes how many brown people you see and how many black people you see. Oh, okay. Okay. So we come up to this little post that has the thing in the road, you know, you can't go by unless they raise it up. And I come up there, and the guard said, ID. So I took out, I have a blow-up of my BYU alumni card. It's about this big, in plastic. Okay, pass through. God, you got me in. So the thing came up, and we drive in there, and we drove by the president's house there at BYU, and up by the Hinckley building there. Gordon tore down a perfectly good building and put one up with his name on it. There's not one name of Jesus on any building on the BYU campus. It's all people who take your money and live well. Also known as the First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12. Anyway, we're driving around campus. We're up there 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Not one brown or black person. So there's a couple of girls walking along, and you know the Bard. So I stopped and rolled my window down, and I said, hey, you got any Negroes here? No, I didn't say Negroes. I said, you got any black people here? Oh, we have one. What, are you moving from class to class so everyone thinks there's a Negro in their class? Well, never mind. I don't even want to talk to you. Goodbye. So anyway, we drove up there, not one black and not one brown BYU student. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some. Maybe they were all at the Taco Bell. I always scream, Taco my bell, and all the brown people run to the border. Do you remember that commercial? Run to the border? We hated those people for a while. Anyway, I just want you to know there's no BYU, brown or black. Drive up there anytime. I showed him the Marriott Center, which was put up there by Jay Willard at Marriott, the largest hotel chain, I think, in the world, and the largest purveyor of pornography in the world. So that building I graduated in, and had to walk my line there to get my diploma, and it was all built with porn money. Weenies hanging from the ceiling, vaginas as the doors. Those Mormons, they're so clever. They're so clever. So anyway, I showed them around BYU and the campus there. So make sure that you do your Pele Ale 3 times a day. That's, oh God, hear the words of my mouth. That's the true order of prayer. And then make sure you remember the penalties from the 90s. Don't cut my throat, don't cut my heart out, and don't cut my gut out if I reveal any of these signs, tokens, symbols. I would rather do so than I'd rather have my life taken. Rather than do so, I would rather have my life taken. So anyway, they were going to kill me if I said these things. They haven't. So anyway, that was a lie too. And I want you to have health in the navel, marrow on the bones, strength in the loins and in the sinews, power in the priesthood. Be upon me and upon my posterity through all generations of time and throughout all eternity. This Bard's gone.